y'all, and I thank you so kindly for having me. I am about to start my dash, as I do. The nostalgic song of the day is a very infectiously uplifting one. It is the Pointer Sisters, He's So Shy. Youngins, it's a good one. It is a good one. It's one of my karaoke songs. Anyway, so I'm just gonna jump right in. This is simply a book review on this book that I just randomly, like I said, I'm a newfound reader, so I am just reading all kinds of things to see like what, typically I like memoirs, those are my favorite thus far, and this one kind of is. I mean, I would equate it to like a documentary, but in book form. It's really good. It is so good. It's called by Neil Strauss, whatever. Very good writer. Not that he needs me to tell him that, but he's very good. It's called The Game: Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists. Now, if you're anything like me, and well, you probably are, it's very hard for me to take pickup artists seriously because it seems a little sleazy, and it seems as if these men think that women are just these robots that are programmed a certain way, and if you just say the right phrase, it'll unlock their sexual deviance or prowess or whatever. And so I was going into it really skeptically. But then I read this, on my Kindle, I downloaded a sample of it. The sample hooked me right away. And as much as you think, if it's not possible, it's not a thing, it's not science, that if you say the right phrase, women will just be swayed to want to be with you. But when I tell you, this book defies your presumption because it really works. Like, these guys were really doing it. So it's really a sort of a social science, I guess. But anyway, I highly suggest you read the book. It's so much better than you think it would be. This guy basically, I don't want to say a nerd, I don't know. He basically doesn't have very much luck with women, and he always wished he had. You know, there's always, like the hot buff jocks that just are gorgeous. They're always so hot. We've all known them, we've all been with them, we've all experienced whatever. But these guys, all they have to do is basically show up, and women just are typically interested physically. Upon conversation, you realize, well, whatever. Everyone's different. We all have different experiences. But instead of these guys having these hot buff jock gifts, such as the aesthetic of the sexiness with the muscles and the height or whatever they feel like they're lacking, they have to basically, these guys that don't have all that, they have to like compensate, and they have to work on strengths that they don't physically have. So instead of being like physically conventionally gorgeous, they basically have to be head and shoulders above the hot guys, in terms of they have to have this great conversation skills, and they have to have other abilities and gifts. Like, one guy is a magician. It basically documents his journey with all of these pickup artists, and it really is like a science. These guys have really like trained and perfected the craft of basically being interesting, basically being appealing. Like I say, it is nothing like you would expect it to be. Like, of course it sounds skeezy. It sounds like, oh, your first instinct is to say, well, just be yourself. Just go out there, talk to people, be yourself, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Well, to their point, it can work out if you just, I think their goal, I remember the goal in the book is to basically be unlike all the other guys. Everything that all the other guys are doing, where they just like show up and they're like, can I buy you a drink? Or whatever I don't know what they do. These guys have to be so much better than that. They have to do what nobody else is doing. And they go through it in the book. They go through what works and what women respond to. And when you think that women aren't that stupid, it's not that they're stupid, it's just that women that they encountered are bored with all the other guys, and these guys are just being that much more interesting and appealing, not just relying on their conventional good looks. And I know you're thinking, because I was thinking this too, you were like, who would that work on? Because they go through like some of their like routines, so to speak, and you think, well, how could that possibly work? That's stupid. It's only stupid because you're reading about the science behind it. You're reading about the effort behind it. But if you think about it, if you picture a guy doing these things in a club or a bar or a party or a gathering, a gala, a banquet, whatever they're at, you would think, oh, this guy is totally interesting. He's so much more interesting than the other guys with no conversation skills. These guys have perfected the art of basically being interesting. And I can totally see where it would work. And I was totally skeptical. I was totally against it because I was like, people are not, you don't just push a button and just people's panties drop. That's not a thing. but you don't push a button, but if you just, they're basically stimulating the women in here. They do this thing where it's called peacocking, where they dress really ridiculously. It's not ridiculously, but it's like flashy. I call it ridiculous, but whatever. It's like where they wear like platform boots, or I want to say somebody was wearing a cape at one point. I don't know. Flashy, like busy pattern tops. And I know, as stupid as it sounds, I can't fault them because you know what? If it works, it works. And apparently it's working. So I just, like I said, I highly recommend you guys go read it. If you're a reader, even if you're not a reader, this will hook you. I suggest go read it, please, please, please. And then come back here and talk to me about it because I want to have somebody to talk about it with. It was so good and interesting and a really good read. Now, it doesn't really paint men in the best light. Well, it doesn't really paint these men in the best light all the time, but I like that because it's refreshing. It's honest and it's candid and I find that refreshing. So men out there, if you're looking to level up your game, this is a really good book for you. Women out there, if you are looking to be able to peep the game, clock the game a little quicker, a little sooner, this will be a good book for you because then you can like identify red flags. But I'll tell you, based on these techniques, procedures, I don't know what you call it, I could see where it would work. I can honestly see where it would work. I finished it like a week ago, so I'm like trying to remember. I think one of the techniques was to go up to a woman and then say any woman you want, even in a group, even if she's with her friends, even if she's with even guys. They have literally gotten girls' numbers when they were out with other guys. These men are gifted. I mean, they're trained, so they're very skilled. So it's nothing to scoff at as much as you want to, because I get it, trust me. The writer, Neil Strauss is so good. He is captivating, compelling. You hang on every word. He really knows what he's doing. I find it hard to believe that he even needed all this because I find with his intelligence and his gift of gab that he would just pick up anybody naturally. I think it was his confidence. I think ultimately what he learned was confidence is key more than anything else. So one of the techniques was that you go up to a woman and instead of just saying hi or how are you, if she's with other people, you don't even address her. You don't even acknowledge her. You talk to everybody else in the group. You win them over first. And in that, a lot of the women, they would think, oh, he's not paying attention to me. So they would try to make their presence known and they would try to kind of demand his attention because she wasn't getting it. And all the while, he was winning over all her friends. So that is a technique. Also, what was another one? Go up to a woman and instead of being like, hi, how are you? Do you come here often? Or what's your zodiac sign? Whatever. Although if you open with what's your sign, that would work on me, but whatever. You instead go and you say, can you help me out? I was trying to settle this debate I was having with a friend. Would you date a guy if he was still close with his ex? And before she has a chance to think, ew, get away from me, freak, or whatever, she, instead of being, repelled, she just starts thinking, well, what is it okay? How do I feel about that? And so then she answers the question. And then by that point, you're in. I mean, I'm not saying you get a number from that, but you're in terms of interest. You've already set yourself apart from all of the rest who really aren't good at conversation, honestly, let's be real. If she says yes, he'll say, oh, well, is it okay if he keeps pictures of her in a drawer or something? And so all the while, you're not indicating interest, but you're getting her interest. So that's a technique. That's just a little one. Trust me, read the book, it gets better. Another guy was like a magician, like an illusionist. So he could do different tricks and what have you. He's also a really good speaker. I mean, he's kind of the douche in the book. When I was online, I was on YouTube, I just happened to look up Neil Strauss because I wanted to put a face to the name because in the book, he makes himself sound kind of like not attractive, but he's cute. He is cute. He's much cuter than he depicted in the book. But look, I don't want to give away too much. I've already said too much. But please go read the book. Please read it so that you can come back here and talk to me all about it. I want to hear what you think about it. I want to hear if you think it would work on you. There are definitely some things and techniques that I would absolutely think, I like this guy. He's different. Here's my number. Call me. Although honestly, if I'm drunk enough, it doesn't even take that much game, really. That's terrible, but whatever. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. I do thank you so much for being with me today. I look forward to seeing you soon. We must do this again sometime. Do not be a stranger. Have a good day. Rock out to the nostalgic song of the day. And take care.